Hello my wonderful ravens, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel and today I'm going to start a little series on a botanical journal. I put a poll out not too long ago and you all voted for botanical, and that is what I'm going to make. The next one I will be making will be a gypsy or boho one because I really want to do that myself. So I'll show you in this first video what materials I use. And I'm going to start making the cover from a brown paper bag and then we'll go from there. So I have this Botanical Beauty BCWV paper pack, and as you can see, it is a Botanical Beauty. It has some stunning pages in there. Some are very bright, some are less bright, but I absolutely love this paper. I have not really used it for many things, but I think it's about time, as with many packs that I have. I'm sure you can all relate. So got that one. This is the paper bag that I'm going to be using for the cover. Yes, we order Uber Eats, and this is one of those bags from Uber Eats. It's quite large, and we'll be starting with this today. So it will be a semi-soft cover journal. I'll cover it with some cotton, I think some coffee stained cotton, and then on the inside I will still put some flips and tucks and whatnot. So it will be a little bit more rigid than a true soft cover, but we'll get to that. So I have 3 herb encyclopedias, or encyclopedia. I'll show you what is useful and what is not. So stuff like this are okay, however the images are quite large and I don't intend to make my journal this big, so this probably won't do. Then I have this one, and the images are kind of you know, it's not that exciting. Most of them are like that. So this is also probably not. But this one, the images, not at the back of this book, but in the more on the front of this book. It has some of these square image plates, which I can use, which is quite cool. So this paper has some beautiful pages, but these just add to that and add to ephemera pieces and tags and all that. So there's that. Then I have this Secret Garden coloring book from Joanna Bestford, and I never color in that anymore, so I cut the pages out and I can just use whatever. So I'll be using some of that. I have some tea bags that I can use for ephemera, covering pages, whatnot. Then for the papers, this is some paper that I stained with blue butterfly pea flowers, and it came out greenish blue, so I'll be using some of that. Some tea stained paper. I want to use some paper bags. This is also from Takeout, but you can use the inside, which is perfectly brown paper, and maybe put that through a how do you call that, embossing folders, and make it a nice pattern and whatnot. Same for this one, same for that one. We buy our apples in this. Our local shop IGA, they put apples in these baggies, so that's cool. These are also from, you know, breakfast rolls or bread takeout baggies. I've got 2 of those. What's this? Post office paper. So the back of this is white, so I can use that. What is this? This is like a mulberry paper. Got 2 sheets of that. Some brown wrapping paper, some more of that, some Amazon brown paper, some other paper that came in something else. I just need to cut it to size, that's all. This is some of that paper that is for photo albums, so it covers photos. So I can take that out, use it as is, or put it into an embossing folder as well. And then some mixed media papers that have different whites and different thicknesses, different feels. I thought that would be nice to use as well. And what else have we got? Oh yes, this is already the selected papers from the Johanna Basford stuff. Some dictionary papers. This one has the word botany and botanical stuff on it. This is just some illustrated dictionary stuff with some, you know, herbal stuffs on it. I thought it was kind of neat. I got this from one of my patrons. A very nice sheet with some florals in there. I have another one, and what I might do is put them on the inside of the covers. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, something like that. It's very nice. So we'll see. We'll see. Got some doilies, and I have some digitals. I have no idea where they're from because I have so many things in my digital kits that I kind of lost track of what is from where. But yeah, they're all vintage botanical stuff for inside the journals. This is from some postcard from a postcard pack that I got from my friend Jen. I scanned them and printed them because I want to maybe use them multiple times instead of just once. So they're on thicker paper. I have a color printer now at home, so that's fantastic. So yeah, got some of those, and some ephemera pieces which I will get to at a later stage. But for now, let's start with what we have here and start making the cover of the journal. Let's go. The paperback. Let's see what we've got. So this is our bag. I want to take this apart, so let's very gently try and do that. See where you can get your finger under and just gently pull it apart. Now with this one the same. That piece of paper out. Apparently we had some cracked pepper still in there, so let's get rid of that. Oh, I think we have the salt bit too. Yep, that's the sea salt. Get rid of that. Don't worry, there's no food residue on this thing. And you can kind of fold this back. It's a bit torn, but it's okay. You can work with that. Now you can fold this out as well. And the other side too. Look what a giant piece of cardboard we have here. Insane. And it's thick as well. I mean, so much for recycling and all that stuff, but this is just, I think it could have been in a thinner bag. I mean, it's great for us journal makers, but you know, just gonna take the handles off. As best as I can without breaking too many things. Take the other bit off as well. Alright, a flat piece. Now, we can take this apart even further if we want to, just by finding that edge where they glued it together. It doesn't always tear the way you want to, but there we go. Alright! We got there. I want to turn it inside out and fold it back on itself. So this way we have no lettering that can ever shine through. So I need to determine how big I want that journal to be. So if I even tear this in half and get rid of this one for a future journal and fold this on in half, I can glue this together and then fold it this way, and it already looks a little bit more like a journal size. So there's something. So what I want to do now, because I'll be doing some sewing, I'm just gonna glue this down with glue stick for now. And I don't often use this, but because I'm going to sew, it doesn't matter. It needs a temporary hold, and this is what will do just fine. There we go. I'll give it a roll with our brayer. This is optional, by the way. And how you use, if you are going to make this kind of journal, how you use this paper is completely up to you. I mean, it is completely up to you. Now, let's have a look. So we want to perhaps find that middle, which is right there. And then, how wide do I want it to be? I don't know. So how about 2 inches? So my ruler is 1 inch wide. I'm gonna lie it on the outside there. And just fold that. And turn it over and do the same on the other side. And the reason I'm folding it now is that when the fabric is on, it will be easier to fold if it already has folds. So now we have a 1 inch spine. Well, that's not very smart. That's only a 1 inch spine. That's not a lot of room. I want a 2 inch spine. So I really want a 2 inch spine or a 3 inch spine. Maybe 3 inches would be nicer than that. Three inch. Fold it. There we go. And the same on the other side. Now we have a 3 inch spine. There we go. It is still quite large, so I might just trim that down a little bit. So 6.5 inch. So if I take one of the pages that I've got, so that's just A4. See that this is quite large, so if I trim that down to 6 inch by, let's say 9, 6 by 9. There we have it. Our 6 by 9 journal cover is there. These are the offcuts. You can reuse them if you want. In this case, I won't. We can use everything for eternity and reuse and reuse and reuse, but you know, there is a stop at some point. You kind of have to go, okay, I'm just gonna check this out. Right, we have a journal cover ready to be covered with fabric. What I will do, I'll have it overhang a little bit on the sides and turn it over, glue that on the inside and cover this with paper. So let's find the fabric that I want to use and go from there. Here is my very heavily dyed roll of fabric. It was an old sheet and I just put it in the garden on some rocks, sprinkled it with coffee, and this is the result. I really like it, so let's use this one. I'm gonna give it a little cut there and a little cut there, and then I can tear. Here we go. I think this part is very dark, very much darker. So let's use that. So now I will use that same glue stick again. I'm gonna put it upside down. So I'll put this upside down. And I'll put this one on top. It's way easier. Just pressing in the middle, flipping it over. Then you can, don't get me wrong, this will hold for quite some time, but I think over time that glue stick will just not hold. But seeing I'm gonna stitch it, it doesn't really bother me. Flip it over, trim the edges. I don't need that much on the sides. There we go. Sweet. And now, just gonna, glue that down again with the glue stick. Corners first. And it will glue quite nicely on the fabric. Paper and fabric is faber. Now it's time to glue down the big parts. And again, I'm just gonna use that glue stick, run it all the way across, and start from the middle, start pulling it down, and go all the way around. So there we go. All the sides are glued together. It is just a little bit floppy right now because the glue is still wet. Because I scored that 1 inch first, we have now 1, 2 lines here. But I think if I score another 1, 2, 3, we have 5 places where we can sew some signatures. So if I if I fold it in half, we have that middle crease. Just be gentle when you do it. Always just be gentle with your journal. So there's that middle crease. 1, 2, 3. So this is where our signatures will sit. Now what I kind of want to do as well is, I'm creasing it all now, is put another piece of fabric here just to strengthen the spine. Fabric will not tear that easily or at all, but paper will. And I know there's already fabric here, but I just want to strengthen that spine a little bit more. So let's find that 1/2 inch there. Marked it. I'm just gonna do that. Push it against the ruler. And that should give me enough to then fold it like this. And you can also use a bone folder to fold that. However, if you use a roller, you have less chance of that fabric moving. So 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. And you know what? There is no right or wrong way to make a journal. You do whatever you want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Kind of looks like a random book now. So there's that. Let's put a piece of fabric there, and I will tear a complete strip so I can have some more for next time I'm doing this. And we can make those creases again because the creases are not in this fabric yet, so let's do that. So now I can basically do with this whatever I want. This is a good base for a soft cover journal, and soft cover means that it's still bendable. However, I will glue some paper on the inside, and then the spine will still be soft, but the cover will be a little bit more rigid. Of course, you can also go with just, you know, a fabric inside like that, but then you can't really put pockets in there unless you sew them in, of course. Anyway, I am gonna go with this, and I'm really happy with what it looks like right now. If you have some of these, you know, threads hanging off, I don't mind them. You can trim them off if you like, but yeah. So this journal, I think, what looks better? I kind of like this cover. I can do some sewing on the front and do whatever I want with this. So what I might do is put a nice journal plate and put on some very neutral and natural looking fabrics. So what I can do, I can scrunch this up and add some beads if I want to, but I think I'm gonna go with something else. So let me just grab all my supplies and come back to you. Okay, I think I want to put one of these images on the cover and then play around with various things. So I've got this box with you know, various bits and pieces of interesting stuff, and I think I can do something with that on this journal. Here is another box with bits and bobs, like a lot of this kind of stuff. I always like the smell of this, I don't know why, but I kind of want to play around with that and see what I can do with this rustic kind of journal. So let's try a little bit of that. So I think I'm just going to tear that. There we go. I might offset that a little bit. All right, I've got some bits and bobs out. I inked around the edges. The ink I use is a Gathered Twigs. Don't see many YouTubers use this ink, like they use the Ranger Distress ink, but not the Gathered Twigs one. It's always Vintage Photo or Walnut Stain. I use Gathered Twigs. Anyway, I inked around the edges, and I got one of the journal plates, and I have some brads that I will be using to attach this. Also, I have some of this stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen that, and some of this, and some of that. And I'm just gonna dress up the journal a bit with those things. Before I do that, however, I am going to sew around the edges of the journal and around here as well, just to attach that to the journal. And then do everything on the cover, and then we're gonna work on the inside of the journal. So I'll be back after stitching. So my sewing machine is still on my desk, yes, but I've sewn around, all around the journal, and then in the spine, I have sewn around, well, around where the signatures will be. So the signatures will be here, and then I've sewn just outside of those, just to give it some more interest. I did like that, and I like the texture of it. So yeah, there's that. And then I'm going to sew this and all the other stuff on the way I like to do that, and then I'll be back with you. And this is what I did with my journal. So I put the tag on. You can still see that here, but that will be covered by whatever we do at the back. Then I glued this piece on after sewing around the image, and then I put that stuff on with sewing, then this stuff with sewing as well, and the leaves and the flowers with hot glue. I am making 2 of these journals, so I still need to do the flowers here and the leaves, but this is what this one's going to look like. I do like that this is going around the corner. Makes it look a little bit more organic, but I like them both. So the inside will be the same for both of them. But yeah, this is it for today's video. Next week I'll be back with the continuation of this journal. So I hope to see you all back for that one. Thanks for watching.